Elections Officer, for her hard work for this evening. I'd also like to thank our Executive Board, and some of the members of the Executive Board are here tonight, as well as our advisor, Ms. Michaela Logan, for helping tonight. Also, a big thank you to the UVA-Wise Media Services team for their willingness to work with us in the last couple weeks to get this prepared for. Tonight, we will hear from all of our vice presidential candidates as well as our presidential candidate. We would ask that everyone please silence their phones and hold all applause to the end of closing statements. At this time, I will turn it over to our Chief Elections Officer, Mr. John Dalton Altizer.
All righty, good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming out this evening. The following rules have been agreed to by all candidates prior to this evening's debate beginning. Number one, all comments shall be made in a respectful manner and no derogatory comments will be tolerated. Any comment deemed derogatory by myself or President Rudisill leaves the candidate subject to removal from this debate. Number two, candidates will be allowed 2 minutes for their opening and closing statements. Number three, candidates will be allowed 1 minute to respond to each question. And number four, in the event a candidate is mentioned by name by another candidate, they are allowed a 30-second rebuttal. And finally, the order of tonight's questions has been predetermined and has also been agreed upon by all candidates. Candidates, is there any questions before we begin? Mr. Wells, any questions? All right. And with that, move my paper around there. With that, Mr. Gibson, you may now begin with your opening statement.
Some background on me. I am a third year at UVA-Wise. I major in sports management. I got a minor in communications. I try to stay fully involved on campus with different opportunities and departments. I mainly work in athletics and campus recreation. I am going for the vice president position for a couple reasons. For one, I want to keep doing all the stuff that President Rudisill and Vice President Blevins have done for SGA over the past election, and I want to keep those things rising, and I want to make SGA take it to a higher level than what it's been at. And lastly, I want to thank all you all for coming out, and I want to wish the best gratitude to the other two candidate-elects sitting beside me.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Ms. Nuru, you may now begin with your opening statement.
Well, again, my name is Ayman Nuru. I was born and raised in Ethiopia. I came to the United States in July 2024. I'm currently majoring in biology, Bachelor of Science, and I plan on becoming a neurosurgeon in the future. During my high school, I have participated in different sports and clubs after being moved up to 12th grade. And those experiences have taught me to work hard, adapt quickly, and stay committed even when the path was difficult for me. And when I arrived at UVA-Wise, I saw a campus full of opportunities, students, strong academics, great people, and a community with potential. But I also noticed something that we can improve, our communications. Students have concerns that don't always reach the right people. And our communities need stronger participation, and our leaders deserve better connections and teamwork. That's why I'm running for vice president in the SGA. I want to strengthen our internal structure, improve our communication, and make sure every event and meeting runs smoothly. I want students to feel heard, leaders to feel supported, and our campus to feel united.
Thank you, Ms. Nuru. Mr. Wells, you may now begin your opening statement.
So I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd today, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Avery Wells. I'm a senator here, a junior class senator. And since my time being on campus, I've had the wonderful opportunity to serve in many different roles. And the most important of those roles has been a student. I've stepped into the exact shoes that each and every one of you have stepped in. I've stepped onto this campus, and I've seen the struggles. I've worked with you all hand in hand. And when I think about what my goals are and why I want to be vice president, it is to continue that work, to continue the work that President Rudisill, Vice President Blevins, Compliance Officer Altizer, that they've all put in, but the same for Senator Nuru, and then the same for myself. We've both put in a good deal of work already, and I hope that this is really just carrying on the torch to do something greater, something that will build into tomorrow, not just for now, not just for tomorrow, but will really help for years to come. And I hope that we can build a better UVA Wise and to really make it a beacon of the Appalachians and build this opportunity hub that we have going on here. And so I sit before you today, hopefully to put on a good show and to demonstrate my views and demonstrate the platforms that I'm running on.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. I will now turn it over to President Rudisil for our first question.
Thank you, Mr. Rothhauser. Ms. Nuru, the first question goes to you. The vice president position requires leadership qualities in a multitude of ways. What experience do you have that you believe makes you best suited for these leadership responsibilities? Your 1 minute, your 1 minute begins now.
Well, before this, when I was in Ethiopia, I've participated in different clubs, and as a student who was in the club, I tried to generate a lot of ideas that help the students grow their clubs into a bigger and more known. And for me, I still want UVA Wise to have, the big opportunities that other universities have. So I want to add more into the international. I want to add more international cultural things that other students could be included to, not just one culture, but different culture. Because this is like, we have a lot of different diversity of students, and we need to include them. So that's what I am trying to do, and that's what I experienced from my background. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nuru. Mr. Wells, the same question to you. The vice president position requires leadership qualities in a multitude of ways. What experience do you have that makes you believe you are best suited for these leadership responsibilities? Your 1 minute begins now.
So I've served in the SGA now for a little over a year, and then I've also been the president of a nonpartisan debate club here on campus. And through this work, I've had the opportunity to reach out to a lot of students and hear their concerns. But I also have a background in political engagement. I've worked in Senator Tim Kaine's office over the summer, traveling across the Commonwealth and visiting with a lot of the most wonderful people that I've ever spoken to. And so if I could say one thing about the leadership and then what I can bring to the table, it is experience. It is experience, and it is the ability to reach across multiple aisles, no matter how many there are, and then to reach a conclusion that will then benefit the people that I hope to serve.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. Mr. Gibson, the same question to you. The vice president position requires leadership qualities in a multitude of ways. What experience do you have that makes you believe you are best suited for these leadership responsibilities? Your 1 minute begins now.
So I want to go back to my role in campus recreation. I am a student supervisor in there, and so I'm overseeing events and students working as student interns for us. And on the athletic side, I work in sports information, so I'm involved in organizing events for athletics and making sure that game day operations are up to par, and hosting fans that come in, spectators, and people that come to the events. For leadership, the vice president is someone who is the structural backbone to SGA, so that's going to need somebody that's have experience in leadership and someone who's willing to take initiative and follow up on what students have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Mr. Althauser.
Ready? Our second question will start with Mr. Wells. Mr. Wells, in the vice president's role, you will be required to assist the president with daily responsibilities as well as the SGA as a whole. How will you balance your time between assisting SGA and your own personal commitments? Your 1 minute begins now.
So balancing this workload is actually surprisingly not as hard as many people would think. I'm already very active within our SGA, and I am active within multiple clubs. A few of the members are out here today. And balancing this is really, it's not hard, because through these clubs and through these student organizations, I have the opportunity to speak with the students. So not only am I a representative of the SGA, but I also have the opportunity through various means to step into multiple different worlds through multiple different clubs and then to speak with these people. So balancing it really isn't something that is a concern for me as I'm already doing it.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. Mr. Gibson, question to you. In the vice president's role, required to assist the president with daily responsibility, how will you balance your time between assisting SGA and your own personal commitments? commitments. Your 1 minute begins now.
I actually think that balancing it could be a struggle for some, and for someone like me that tries to get involved in a lot of events on campus and throughout different organizations, I've got to a point where I'm in my third year of college. I've learned that time management is on the top of almost every college student's agenda. It's something that they teach you in any freshman seminar class. It's the first thing you learn is time management. And I've took that and I've organized calendars for me, myself personally, and for other people that either work for me or colleagues that I work with. Balancing this time is going to be something that is just going to take effect if elected, and it's something that me personally would have to work through and make it clear to me the understanding of how to balance it.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Ms. Nuru, in the Vice President's role, you will be required to assist the President with daily responsibilities as well as the SGA as a whole. How will you balance your time between assisting SGA and your own personal commitments? Your 1 minute begins now.
Well, I've always been the type of person to work through struggles and challenges. So whenever I have things that are like in front of me that I have a lot of things to do, I plan those things, organize myself so I could give time for everything that needs to be given. Because this work that I'm doing is for the students, and I'm here. When I say I'm here to listen to the students' concern and ideas. So when I do that, I obviously need to give time to the student, give time to my education, give time to the clubs that I attend, as well as the meetings that I will be attending. So it's always about, if you actually want to do it, you'll always have time for things. You just have to know that you will be able to divide those things.
Thank you. Mr. Rudisil.
Mr. Gibson, the next question is to you. As Vice President, you'll be responsible for supervising all committee chairs and ensuring productive and positive events are held for the student body. What committees would you like to emphasize and or change if you are elected? Your 1 minute begins now.
Me personally, I believe in clear expectations and follow-through. I would try to make sure each committee has defined goals and regular updates and communication back to not just me, or not to just the Vice President, but also to the Senate. Something I already practice when coordinating either athletic content that's going out on social media or even operations that involve in the back of campus rec and athletics. Committees, the biggest, to me, part of that is communication. If you communicate, things will go well, and that's the key to being successful in almost any type of organization.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Ms. Nuru, the next question is to you. As Vice President, you'll be responsible for supervising all committee chairs and ensuring productive and positive events are held for the student body. What committees would you like to emphasize and or change if you are elected? Your 1 minute begins now.
Well, I want to work more on the inclusive, like internationally looking at it. I want to work on cultural organizations that I could include everybody in every event, because instead of just showing one culture of game, culture of entertainment, I want to include everybody from wherever they are, so I could help them have fun and like feel that they're actually like here to be like, here, so I can actually make them feel that they are needed. They're here, they're in UVA-wise, and we need them to feel more safe and more participated and involved.
Thank you, Ms. Nuru. Mr. Wells, as Vice President, you'll be responsible for supervising all committee chairs and ensuring productive and positive events are held for the student body. What committees would you like to emphasize and or change if you are elected? Your 1 minute begins now.
So I sit right now as the chairman of the OSC committee, and that gives me the opportunity to welcome in new clubs and to introduce them to our Senate. And so I think we can emphasize our OSC committee and we can build on these clubs and these organizations. But I also have a proposal of a new tabling initiative. It might require a new committee, but I think, quite frankly, plenty of students are tired of there not being enough communication, transparent communication among the SGA and then among the students. And a lot of that is because they don't realize that we're here. And so I'm here to propose that there should be a committee where we can have a table at least every 2 weeks where SGA members sit out and then they collect the problems and they collect the issues that our students have. Because for far too long, I feel as if the students do not have a voice, and they feel that way as well. And so I'm carrying that on to you all to propose this today.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
All right. Ms. Nuru, this question starts with you. Over the past 2 years, SGA has made it a priority to unite all members of campus, from students, staff, and faculty. How will you work with the new president-elect to ensure this goal continues to move forward? Your 1 minute begins now. I apologize.
Well, I'll be amplifying the president's vision, but also if I have any honest opinions on like my ideas, I'll give him viewpoints and honest insights about what I have for the students. But I'll also be helping the president by managing internal coordinations, stepping in when leaders is needed, and ensure that decisions reflect all our students. And I'll also bring my own ideas, as I have said, but in respectful and confident way, so I can, and this could like contribute to a balance of collaboration, leadership, teaming.
Thank you. Mr. Wells, over the past 2 years, SGA has made it a priority to unite all members of campus, from students, staff, and faculty. How will you work with the president to ensure this goal continues to move forward? Your 1 minute begins now.
So my goal is to work with the president hand in hand, and the president-elect and I will work for you all. There will not be a day that we do not have the students as our top priority. And so our goals moving forward will always be to put you all first, to give you all the voice, and then to ensure that there is an adequate place that you all feel safe for, and a recognizable place that you all can find to come and give your all's opinions, share your views, but also share your concerns. And so working with the new president-elect, I hope that we continue this progress and we continue this vision of UVA-wise, because everything starts right there in the SGA office when it comes to our students. You all are our voice, and we echo it to the administration. So don't be afraid. Give us an earful. Give the new president an earful. I'm sure he'll like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. Mr. Gibson, over the past 2 years, SGA has made it a priority to unite all members of campus, from students, staff, and faculty. How will you work with the new president-elect to ensure this goal continues to move forward? Your 1 minute begins now.
I hope to actually work closely with him as somebody who has possibly been serving in the same role that I'm running for. I would like to learn from them and see what they have done in SGA to bring it to where it's at now than where it was several years ago. And as someone who sits in SGA or in the OSC office a lot, I like to hear things, and I like to communicate with people, and I like to get to know people's thoughts on certain things. So me personally, I like to hear out what people have to say and learn from them. And hopefully then, with working with the new president, we can keep SGA going in the same direction it's been going over the past couple of years.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. President Rudisil.
Thank you very much, Mr. Altizer. Now we will enter the student question portion of our debate. At this moment, we will have 6 minutes for all student questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and Mr. Altizer will come with you to the microphone. We ask that you would please make sure that questions are directed to each and every candidate, and if not, all candidates will have the opportunity to answer any questions that are received. Mr. Altizer, do we have any questions? Right here in the front. The 6 minutes will now begin.
Okay, since the Vice President is in charge of and oversees committees, how will you evaluate whether a committee is actually productive versus they are just meeting regularly?
Mr. Gibson, we will start with you and work our way to the end.
I think when you oversee committees and you want to see what's going good for the committee and what's going bad for the committee, that's all keeping updates and keeping regular meeting times. That way you have somebody, or you yourself can go into the meeting and see what's going on in the committee, and if things are going in the right direction, see what's working. If things are not going in the right direction, see what's possibly not working and what you can see fix that situation.
Ms. Nuru.
Sorry, I didn't want to stand where they couldn't see it.
They don't remember. How would you evaluate whether a committee is actually being productive versus they're just meeting regularly?
So, as a vice president, I also have to put reports and see how my peers and students are working. So, once I am a vice president, I'm not just sitting there waiting them to do the work. Because you have to be inclusive, you have to communicate with your peers to see what they're doing and help them if there's anything that you can do. You can create ideas, listen from others, and all you could do is just be there for them, and then not just let them be by their own.
You need to repeat it.
Mr. Wills.
So how would you actually evaluate whether a committee is actually being productive versus just meeting regularly?
So I believe in building an environment that fosters productivity. I believe that if we have a shared goal, then there is a shared responsibility. And so working as the vice president, my job will be to oversee committees and then to ensure that they're acting in an appropriate manner and then also in a productive manner. And so, like I said, I believe that if we work as a hive, if we work as a beehive, right? If we're worker bees and we're worker bees for the people that we need to be, for the students here, then things will get done. And so having these committees is essential for outreach for the SGA. It is one of the most important parts of our organization, and so maintaining a good work environment, and then
That's
hearing
time,
from
Mr.
them.
Wills.
So, coming on the heels of UVA-Y's Advocacy Day, as VP, how would you continue to contribute to advocating for UVA-Y's across the Commonwealth, both with our state and local governments and within the framework of the broader University of Virginia administration?
Mr. Wells, we'll begin with you.
So I'm actually already ahead of the game here. I've traveled up to Richmond and I've met with multiple delegates to bring in them to come and visit with our college. Many of you may not know we're looking at a 25 to a 30% increase in enrollment, and so funding is very important, and I've already grabbed the gun. I've already been talking and I've already been discussing this with these delegates to bring them down, whether it be in April or March, whenever they can come down and then meet our students, meet our faculty, and then see the vision that I see for UVA-Y's.
Ms. Nuru.
Well,
And coming on the heels of UVA-Y's Advocacy Day, how would you commit to advocating for UVA-Y's across the Commonwealth in our state and local governments and within the framework of the broader University of Virginia administration?
well, I'm currently a freshman, and I'm doing my research on UVA-Y's, and I know it's a great campus, and there are great people in here, and I want to go out there, tell this to the world, so that we can include more people to hear, and students could come from all over the place to visit UVA-Y's and see what a great school it is, and we could invite them for different kind of purposes. And yeah, that's one.
Thank you.
How would you continue to advocate for UVA-Y's in our state and local governments, as well as within the broader framework of the UVA administration?
That's a great question. And me personally, I'm new to joining the SGA, and I don't want to say politics, but new to this sort of thing. So I would love to get back to you on that. If I am elected, I would love to answer that question after I've gone into office and learned what we do now as the SGA to support that. And I would love to see things that could be fixed and things that can be brought to attention for you.
Any other questions? Right here, right in the front.
What is one specific goal you hope to achieve by the end of your presidency? Like if you had one overarching thing that came about.
Ms. Nuru, we'll start with you.
One thing I want to improve is student safety, to feel comfortable enough to come to the SGA and tell us about their ideas. tell us about their concerns, and if they have questions, I want them to come and ask, because I believe there are a lot of ideas that students hold, but just because there is no progress happening, they or no update, they don't get no updates, so they sit down and hold their own ideas to themselves, and I don't want that to happen. I want them to feel free, want them to come to the SGA, because that's why we're here. That's why the SGA is here for them.
Thank you. Mr. Gibson, we'll go to you.
One thing for me personally, I am a local student here. I'm from Big Stone Gap, Virginia, and so one of the committees that I actually personally want to upgrade, in my opinion, would be the leadership and local outreach one. That's something that I feel that as a local student here, I can reach out to even my hometown in Big Stone, which is 20 minutes away, or even the Wise County part. So as being a local, that's one thing that I really want to prioritize, is getting the community involved with UVA Wise and hopefully raising enrollment through Wise County.
Mr. Wells, you have a minute.
Yeah, so my ultimate goal is to leave UVA Wise better than I found it. I got here 3 years ago, and I saw opportunity, and through various means of reaching out and making wonderful friends, and then also getting close with my professors who have provided me these opportunities, I want to ensure that every student has this opportunity and that everybody feels that they have the ability to achieve their goals. And so when you ask, what can I do, or what do I want to do for UVA Wise, I want us to have good housing, and I want us to have consistent housing. I want us to have properly labeled cafeteria items, and I want us to have student safety above all else. And so moving forward, I would love to advocate to the administrative office and to the administration on behalf of all the students to ensure that these are met, not for me and you, not for the years after, but for plenty to come. So, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. We'll let Mr. Altizer get back up here, and then we'll move to closing statements.
Thank you all for your questions this evening. Obviously, we do have one more candidate that's going to speak that's not a vice president's candidate that we have to get up here. So if you have any additional questions, please come up and talk to all the VP candidates after the debate. With that, we will move to closing statements. Closing statements, we'll start with you, Mr. Wells. You have 2 minutes beginning now.
So I stand before you today seeking your support, but I'm not asking for a position. I'm asking you to work hand in hand with me. There are goals that we have to achieve, and there are goals that I believe we can achieve. There are naysayers, there are doubters, and to those naysayers, I would like to say today that there is a timeless creed that sums up the spirit of UVA Wise, the spirit of triumphant, and the spirit to push past the limitations that we have on us. Yes, we can. Yes, we can achieve the goals that we want to achieve. Yes, we can build a better tomorrow. And yes, we can have a better college for the years to come, because it is not just a vice presidential election. It is not just an SGA election, but this is the future of our campus. I hope to have each and every one of you standing with me side by side as we move forward, and as we continue to build a better college, and as we continue to foster this environment of hope, and as we continue to foster this environment of engagement and opportunity. There are so many things that are left to be done, and I hope that when I step into office and that when I step out, I leave it a better place than I found it, and then I leave it with some progress. That way the next administration knows where they need to go and what they need to do. That way they work with each and every single one of you here today.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. Mr. Gibson, you and I have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
First off, I want to thank all you all for coming out here tonight. I want to thank President Rudisil and Vice President Blevins and Compliance Officer Altizer for setting this up, and the people in the back for making all the operations behind the scene work. I want to keep this brief. I want to bring in fresh ideas to SGA. I want to support the current momentum that they are achieving at the moment, and I want to make sure we are building something that lasts beyond just one successful term. My goal is to help elevate what is already great, ensure every member feels heard, and leave an organization even stronger for the next generation of leaders here for UVA Wise.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. And finally, Ms. Nuru, you have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
As we look towards the future of our SGA, I want to leave you with this. Improvement is not a slog, it's a responsibility. Participation is not just a checkbox, it's a foundation of a healthy student government. And equality is not an option. It's a standard that every student deserves. If I'm elected as a vice president, I will work every day to strengthen our communication, increase student involvement, and make sure that every voice is heard and valued. I will support our leaders, empower our committees, and help build a structure where ideas don't get lost, concerns don't get ignored, and students don't feel disconnected from ideas that affect them. UVA-WISE is full of potential, and together we can unlock that. Let's build an SJ that listens, improves, and includes, not just for some students, but for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And with that, concludes the Vice President's portion of this evening. We're going to give him a round of applause. It's a difficult task to get up here and be put on the spot and have a microphone in your hand. And none of these guys knew any of the questions going into it. Not our questions, not your questions. So for them to be able to sit up here on the fly and be prepared and to speak is an amazing achievement. We're going to ask if all VP candidates will exit to your right and gather your things. And as they leave, we get ready to welcome our president-elect candidate. He's running unopposed this election.